Imagine knowing the exact date of your death. Terrifying, right? But would they show any signs of remorse? This month, April 2025, 4 convicts will take their last breath. Their crimes were severe, and according to the justice system, only one punishment was deemed fitting: execution. If you are as curious as I am, let us uncover the stories of these 4 prisoners scheduled for execution this April and find out what led them to death row. Number 1. Mikal Tanzi. On a quiet afternoon in April 2000, something happened that shocked the entire country. Janet Acosta was enjoying her day without realizing that it would be the last day of her life. So what really happened on that peaceful day that took the life of Janet Acosta, a Miami Herald employee? Well, on April 25, 2000, Janet parked her van under the shade of a big tree next to the Japanese rock gardens in Miami and was enjoying her meals. But she had no idea that this lunch break would turn into a nightmare. Around 1:30 p.m., Tanzi attacked Janet. Yes, he forced his way into her van and tied her up even though she tried to fight back. But soon he started to threaten her by saying that he would kill her if she tried to resist. Then he drove around 30 miles south to Florida City, and then he parked the van at a gassing station and raped her. He threatened her with a razor while attacking her. You might not be ready to hear what he said to the police when he confessed to the crime. He said, "I told her I'd slice her neck. I told her that I'd cut her from ear to ear." What more is terrifying than this? But then again, he started driving to the south, and he told Janet that he would release her once they reached Key West. But all his promises were lies, and Janet was not aware of any of that. Tanzi not only wanted Janet's body, but also her cash. He forced her to give up her PINs and withdrew cash from multiple ATMs using her cards. But this kidnapping was about to escalate into something even more horrific. When they reached Cudjoe Key, Tanzi strangled and killed her. He also buried her in a secluded place where he believed no one would search. When asked about why he killed her, he gave a chilling reply to the police. He said, "If I had let her go, I was going to get caught quicker. I didn't want to get caught. I was having too much fun. I told her, I said, I can't let you go. If I let you go, then I'm going to be in a lot of trouble." He was caught by police when they saw him getting into Janet's van in downtown Key West. But what came next shocked investigators even more. During the investigation, police linked Tanzi to another murder, that of Caroline Holder. But he never faced any punishment in that case. She was beaten and stabbed to death by Tanzi. He was found guilty of these crimes and was sentenced to death row. Now, after 25 years, he is about to be executed on the 8th of April 2025 by lethal injection. The Florida State Prison pronounced him dead at 6:12 p.m. Now you might be curious to know his last words and the last meal he had. Well, he said, "I want to apologize to the family of Janet Acosta and Caroline Holder for taking their lives. Heavenly Father, please do not blame those who do not know what they're doing." Yes, he finally realized all the evil things he had done. So what was his last meal? His last meals included a fried pork chop, bacon, a baked potato, corn, ice cream, a candy bar, and soda. And if you thought that case was disturbing, just wait until you hear about the next one. Up next, we have Mikal Mahdi. Number 2. Mikal Mahdi. What happens when you murder a police officer? Well, Mikal Mahdi is about to get executed for the crimes he committed, including the murder of a police officer. It all happened around July 2004, when Mahdi decided to go on a crime spree. He went on a violent spree, committing carjackings, using a stolen weapon, and ultimately killing 2 people. Yes, on July 15, 2004, Christopher Jason Boggs faced his ill fate. On that day, he was robbed and shot. He was 29 and worked as a clerk in a convenience store. But Mahdi didn't stop there. After 2 days, he stole a man's car in Colombia. He drove to a farm in Calhoun County. There, he met an off-duty police officer, James Myers. What happened next will raise your heartbeats. In a horrifying act, he doused the officer in diesel and set him on fire. Horrible, right? Even worse, he was suspected of another murder that exact same year. But unfortunately, he was never charged for that case. Mahdi thought he could get away with the thing he had done. He went into hiding for several days, but the police caught him and he was found guilty of the murder. In the year 2006, justice was finally served. Yes, he was made to face the exact fate of the people he murdered. He was sentenced to death. Even though he tried to appeal, it was rejected. His execution is scheduled for April 11th, 2025 at Broad River Correctional Institution by firing squad. Yes, you heard that right. He chose the firing squad. How strange, right? Okay, now, his last words. Well, he was not ready to make his last words. Yes, he remained silent during that time. But for his last meal, he ate ribeye steak cooked medium, mushroom risotto, broccoli, collard greens, cheesecake, and sweet tea. If this didn't shock you, get ready to get goosebumps by hearing how Moises Sandoval Mendoza ended up on the death row. Number 3. Moises Sandoval Mendoza. It took 20 years for justice to be finally delivered in the case of Moises Sandoval Mendoza. His crimes sent shockwaves through Collin County. Tragedy struck the life of a young mother, Rachelle Tollesson. That night seemed completely normal until her mother came by the next morning to check on her. Rachelle was returning from her parents' home with her 5-month-old. Her mother was shocked to see what happened the next day. Her car was still in the driveway and her baby was lying on the bed, and Rachelle was nowhere to be found. A search was launched, and soon Rachelle's body was found. She was strangled, sexually assaulted, and burned. The discovery left everyone stunned. The police soon found out that it was Moises behind this horrific crime. He confessed that he was at a party with her before he murdered her. His chilling confessions and the evidence provided a strong base for this case. In court, prosecutors said Mendoza was furious after Rachelle told a friend she wasn't romantically interested in him. That rejection may have triggered his violent outburst. After all his appeals were denied, he's now set to be executed on April 23, 2025. In such moments, we could think of those ancient words, an eye for an eye. Well, this is not over, guys. Hope your heart is strong enough to hear the crimes of James Osgood. Number 4. James Osgood. A couple of years ago, I really screwed up. I'm guilty, and I deserve death. These were James Osgood's own chilling words during the trial. But what was that crime where even he believed that he deserved death? Do you think people would notice if you suddenly stopped showing up to work? Of course they would. When Tracy suddenly stopped showing up, her boss got worried. And what they discovered shocked the entire country. That's what happened in the case of Tracy Lynn Bown. The scene was disturbing. She was found murdered in her home, her throat cut, stabbed, and sexually assaulted. A brutal scene. It didn't take much longer for the police force to find who was responsible for this crime. It was James Osgood and his girlfriend who murdered Tracy. They broke into her home and assaulted her and did many horrible and violent things to her. Court records describe the attack as merciless. James was found guilty and spent years in prison. Years later, he asked to be sentenced to death. He admitted to the horror of his actions and said he believed in an eye for an eye. He was tired of the court proceedings and he wanted to end the case as soon as possible. Now, after all this time, he's scheduled to be executed by lethal injection on April 24, 2025. So there you have it. 4 convicts, 4 horrific crimes, and the long road that led them to death row. The justice system might move slowly, but it never forgets. Their fate was sealed the moment they chose violence. Now all that's left is the wait for their final breath. What do you think? Do any of them feel real remorse? And do you believe they all truly deserve the death penalty? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. We'd love to hear your take. And if you found this video interesting, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more true crime stories like this one.